Seattle never rushed anyone. It moved at its own quiet pace, wrapped in mist, softened by rain, and filled with moments that asked to be felt rather than explained. The clouds hung low most days, as if the sky itself wanted to listen to the stories people carried inside their chests. Ethan Miller had lived in Seattle for 7 years, yet he still felt like a visitor. Not because the city rejected him, but because he never fully let it in. He worked at a small corner café near Pike Street, a place with fogged windows, wooden tables, and the constant sound of rain tapping against glass. The café was warm, always smelling of roasted coffee beans and cinnamon, and it gave Ethan something he needed: routine. Every morning, he unlocked the door at 6. Every evening, he closed it just before 9. Between those hours, life passed him by in cups of coffee, quiet conversations, and strangers who never stayed long enough to matter. Ethan was 29, tall, soft-spoken, and carried a sadness that never quite left his eyes. Once, he had dreams, big ones. Music, travel, a life that felt loud and alive. But dreams, he had learned, could disappear without warning. And when they did, silence took their place. Seattle understood silence. It was a Thursday when Lily first walked into the cafe. The rain that day was heavier than usual, falling in long, steady lines that blurred the streets and softened the city's edges. The doorbell chimed gently as she entered, brushing wet hair away from her face. She hesitated for a moment, as if unsure whether she belonged there, then stepped forward. Ethan looked up from the counter, and forgot how to breathe. She wasn't loud or striking in an obvious way. She was calm, almost fragile, with tired eyes that looked like they had seen too much too soon. Her coat was slightly oversized, her hands cold as she wrapped them around the warmth of the room. When she spoke, her voice was soft. "Can I get a latte?" she asked. "Sure," Ethan replied, finding his voice again. "Any preference?" She thought for a second. "Whatever you'd recommend." He nodded. "I'll make it special then." She smiled, not fully, not brightly, but enough to leave an impression. That smile stayed with him long after she took her cup and chose the seat by the window. She sat there quietly, watching the rain slide down the glass like slow tears. She didn't look at her phone. She didn't read. She just watched, as if the rain was telling her something only she could hear. Ethan noticed her every time he passed by, pretending to clean tables or check the register. Something about her felt familiar, like a memory he couldn't place. She left without a word. The next day, she came again. Same time, same seat, same rain, and the day after that. Her name, he learned, was Lily Harper. She told him on the 4th day, when he finally found the courage to ask. "Lily," she said, stirring her coffee slowly. "It fits Seattle, doesn't it?" "It does," Ethan replied. "Soft, quiet." She laughed gently. "That's one way to put it." They started talking, little things at first. The weather, the city, the music playing in the cafe. Lily had recently moved to Seattle from the East Coast. She said she needed a place where no one knew her. "Sometimes," she said one evening, "you just want to disappear for a while." Ethan understood that feeling more than he wanted to admit. Days turned into weeks. The rain never really stopped. And somehow, neither did they. Their conversations grew longer, deeper. She told him about her love for old books and long walks. He told her about music, about how he once played the piano in crowded bars before life took a different turn. "What happened?" she asked gently. He shrugged. "Life." She didn't push. Lily never pushed. She listened. And that, to Ethan, meant everything. There was something healing about her presence. She didn't demand happiness. She didn't expect him to be someone else. She just sat there, across from him, and shared the silence. One evening, after closing, Ethan found Lily still sitting by the window. "You know we're closed, right?" he said with a smile. She looked up, surprised. "I lost track of time. Want to walk?" he asked before he could stop himself. Outside, the city glowed under streetlights, rain reflecting everything like a dream. They walked without umbrellas, letting the rain soak into their clothes, laughing like children. "This is crazy," Lily said, spinning once in the middle of the sidewalk. "Seattle does that to people," Ethan replied. They stopped under a bridge, the sound of rain echoing around them. "Ethan," she said softly, "do you ever feel like some people come into your life just to remind you that you can still feel?" He looked at her then, really looked at her. Her eyes were searching, vulnerable. "Yes," he said, "I do." Something changed that night, not dramatically, not suddenly, just a quiet understanding that they mattered to each other. But happiness, like sunshine in Seattle, never lasted long. One rainy afternoon, Lily came into the cafe with red eyes. "I'm leaving," she said. The words hit Ethan like cold water. "Leaving," he repeated. "When?" "Soon," she whispered. "I didn't plan on staying this long." He wanted to ask why. He wanted to ask her to stay. But fear held his tongue. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't mean to." "It's okay," he interrupted. "People leave." She looked at him, pain written across her face. "I didn't want to." They stood there, surrounded by the familiar sounds of the cafe, knowing something important was slipping away. Her last day came too quickly. They walked again, just like before. Same rain, same streets. But this time, everything felt heavier. "I wish we had more time," Lily said. "So do I." They stopped at the corner where they had first laughed in the rain. "Maybe in another city," she said, trying to smile. "Maybe," Ethan replied, though he knew some connections were tied to places, and to moments, you could never recreate. She leaned in and kissed his cheek, light as a whisper. "Thank you," she said, "for making Seattle feel like home." Then she was gone. Seattle felt emptier after that. The cafe stayed the same. The rain stayed the same. But Ethan felt like something vital had been taken from him. He went through the motions, pouring coffee, wiping tables, watching the door without realizing he was waiting. Months passed. Then, one evening, the rain stopped. The doorbell chimed. Ethan looked up, and there she was, Lily, dry this time, smiling fully now, stronger. "I tried leaving," she said. "But some cities don't let you go." He didn't speak. He didn't need to. She walked toward him, and for the first time, Seattle felt warm. Outside, the rain began again, soft, gentle, and familiar. And this time, it didn't feel like an ending.